Hello and welcome. Today I'll be bringing you 5 more simple tips for naval action beginners. Last time we covered the tutorial, getting to know the port interface, capturing a trader's brig for economy missions, using the trader's tool on the map, and participating in PvP and RVR. In this video, I'll give you 5 new tips that will be helpful for beginners. Tip 1 is to plan out your port buildings. You'll need to decide if you want to produce a lot of resources through farms, or if you want to craft, as it can be difficult and expensive to do both. When you're in a national port that you have an outpost in, you can go to the Buildings and Crafting tab and click Build to see what farms and crafting buildings you can make. Each port allows you to build different types of resource farms, but each one also allows you to build every crafting building. Unless you have the Admiralty Connection DLC, you'll only be allowed to have 5 buildings in total. This DLC increases the total to 10. The reason I said it is difficult to be a jack of all trades with crafting is each time you collect a resource or build a cannon or a ship, you use X amount of labor hours. Your total labor hours are shown at the top right of the interface, and they replenish slowly throughout the day. So if you use your labor hours for gathering resources, that means you have less labor hours available to build ships that day. There are always ways you can get around this, such as using a labor contract, which replenishes 500 of your labor hours, but just know you'll need to plan out your buildings and your labor hour usage. Maybe you can alternate gathering resources one day and crafting another day. Whatever works for you. Crafting is a good segue into the next tip, which is understanding port investments. All capturable ports are able to have port investments built into them. Let's say, for example, the clan I am in captures Koro. This port has 45 port points that can be invested into 3 different types of categories: investments, shipbuilding, and defense. If you were to donate these items to the teak forest, for instance, that would mean the players would be able to build teak forest there when it naturally doesn't appear in that port. Investing in the shipbuilding arcs will mean that every ship that is built there by your clanmates and friendly clan members will have that bonus attached to the ship. Essentially, each one of these port bonuses will improve the respective parts of the ship you build. If you invest in the hull, the ship will have a thicker hull with more HP. If you invest in the cannons, they'll reload faster and you'll have better cannon dispersion, while the sailing bonuses will help your ship's speed and turn rate. It's important to understand these investments as a beginner because whichever nation you join will probably have a major shipbuilding port. So if you want to build a shipyard, you need to figure out which port in your nation has these bonuses and make sure you're in a clan that is on the friendly clans list in order to take advantage of them. Tip 3 is to use the Netifly map. This map can be found online by searching Naval Action Netifly map, and it's also linked in the description below. This website is basically the Swiss Army knife of naval action. It can do it all. The Netifly map is a more robust version of the one in game, as it not only shows you the normal information such as which nation and clan control each port, but it also tells you how many port points each one has, as well as what resources they produce, drop, and consume. Okay, so that in and of itself is cool, but there are so many more features to this website. If you go to the map tools on the top, you can do things like predict the wind in game at a given game time. If you go to game tools, you can compare different ships and different wood builds. This is particularly useful when you want to see the different bonuses each wood type will give to the same ship, so you know what wood suits your needs. Also, if you're fighting another player, you can put both ships in this compare ships window and can get a general overview of the stats for both ships. Now this isn't going to be perfect because you won't know for sure what the other player is sailing with their wood type, but you do get the general idea. If you want to compare different cannons and carronades, you can do that in the Cannons tab. If you need to know exactly what resources you need for that new ship you were going to build, you can put the information in the Ship Blueprints tab and get the full recipe. If you're trying to calculate how many ships and what rates you can bring into a port battle, you can download the port battle calculator. This map literally does everything and is something you should have running in the background at all times so you can use it as a quick reference. With tip 4, we move into combat mechanics, specifically boarding. Tip 4 is to always continue to fire your broadside into the ship you're boarding while you're pinned together in the boarding action. Some new players may not know this, but you can actually continue to fire your guns when the boarding window is pulled up. To do this, you'll want to press the left and right bracket keys on your keyboard. Pressing these keys will cause the corresponding side to unleash a full broadside. This mechanic is vital because you can destroy a lot of crew while you're waiting for your boarding to finish, and you can actually put the other ship into crew shock if you kill enough of them in one go. Also, don't forget to set your cannon vector to 100 meters before you board, so your shots don't miss. Our final tip today is to keep combat missions running in the background at all times. When you're in an area where you're planning on hunting AI or players, make sure you accept some of these missions that say hunt down X amount of frigates or kill X amount of players. These missions give you great rewards such as loot chests and can be completed while you're having fun sailing around not even thinking about them. They also have no timer on them, so you can take as long as you want to complete them. This actually brings me to a bonus tip. Those of you who own the Lorequin DLC ship will want to pay special attention here because you can use it to grind out silver and gold boxes really fast in shallow ports. Here's how you do it. A good port to go to is Shroud K since it's a free port and anyone can go there for missions. Cycle through the 6th rate missions until you find one that tells you to sink 3 6 rates in a 6th rate for a reward of a silver chest or a silver and gold chest. If the mission isn't there right away, just take the one that is and cancel it to have a new one appear until you find the right one. If you're good at sailing the Requin, you can finish these missions in under 10 minutes. I, on the other hand, take closer to 20 minutes because sailing the Requin is not one of my better qualities. The objective is to speedboard all of the ships in these missions and to sink them fast. My tactic is to try to board as many of them as I can, but I often find that I end up brawling with them with carronades because ships like the Snow are hard to catch, especially if you suck at sailing the Requin like I do. These chests give you random loot when you open them, anything from ship permits, refits, knowledge books, special cannons, and doubloons. Just make sure that you teleport to one of your main outposts before you submit the mission at the end, because then your permits and cannons you get will be there where you need them, instead of stuck in Shroud K. That's all I have for you today. I hope this video helps some of you that are starting the game. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please post them below in the comments section. Thank you.